What if the ancients knew something that we've forgotten? Temples buried for 12,000 years, stones cut with machine-like precision, and cities that vanished without a trace. Science is still searching for answers. But what the clues are hiding in plain sight? For thousands of years, the pyramids of Giza have stood tall in the blistering desert of Egypt, defying the passage of time. But while tourists marvel at their massive size and symmetry, scientists, engineers, and historians are left scratching their heads. How, exactly, did ancient builders, over 4,500 years ago, construct a monument so massive, so mathematically perfect, and so precisely aligned with the stars without the benefit of modern tools? The Great Pyramid of Khufu, the largest of them all, originally stood at 481 feet and was constructed from an estimated 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks, each weighing anywhere from 2 to 70 tons. The precision is mind-blowing. The sides of the pyramid are aligned almost perfectly to the 4 cardinal points of the compass, with an error of less than 0.067 degrees. Modern architects admit that even with today's technology, recreating the same accuracy on that scale would be a massive challenge. Mainstream historians tell us that the Egyptians used simple tools, copper chisels, wooden sledges, and brute manpower. But can these primitive methods really explain the sheer scale and flawless geometry? Consider the fact that the base of the Great Pyramid is leveled to within just 2 centimeters. That's a degree of engineering perfection that would be difficult to achieve today without lasers and high-tech instruments. Then there's the mystery of how the blocks were transported and lifted into place. No clear evidence has been found of the massive ramps that would have been required, and most theories either fall short logistically or raise even more questions. For example, a straight ramp would have to be more than a mile long to maintain a manageable incline, requiring more materials and labor than the pyramid itself. Some scientists suggest spiral ramps or internal ramps, but there's no conclusive proof of their existence either. And even if such ramps were built, how were workers able to maneuver multi-ton stones with such tight precision and no mortar between them? The interior of the Great Pyramid adds more to the enigma. The Grand Gallery, the King's Chamber, the ventilation shafts, all are aligned with extraordinary accuracy, often pointing towards specific stars like Orion's belt. Some believe the entire structure served as an astronomical observatory, or even as a kind of energy generator. These fringe theories are often dismissed by mainstream academia, but they persist, largely because the conventional explanations simply don't satisfy the scale of the mystery. Adding to the intrigue is the choice of materials. The granite used in the King's Chamber came from Aswan, over 500 miles away. Moving stones that heavy across such a distance without the wheel, which the Egyptians supposedly didn't have at the time, remains another baffling feat. In recent years, researchers have begun experimenting with alternative hypotheses. Some propose the use of counterweights, water-based flotation systems, or even ancient sound technology, an idea inspired by texts that speak of priests raising stones with their voice. While these ideas are speculative, they highlight a growing consensus. The construction of the pyramids cannot be fully explained by current historical understanding. Even the purpose of the pyramids is uncertain. Were they just tombs for pharaohs, or did they serve a deeper, possibly cosmic, function? No mummies have ever been found inside the Great Pyramid, and elaborate internal passages suggest a purpose beyond simple burial. One thing is certain. The more we learn about the pyramids of Giza, the more we realize how much we don't know. These ancient wonders continue to stand as silent witnesses to a lost chapter of human history, one that may hold secrets far deeper than we've yet imagined. Until science can offer definitive answers, the pyramids will remain what they've always been, one of the greatest mysteries ever built. Deep in the arid hills of southeastern Turkey lies a site that shattered everything archaeologists thought they knew about human history. It's called Göbekli Tepe, a megalithic temple complex so ancient, so sophisticated, that it rewrote the timeline of civilization itself. Discovered in the 1990s, this site dates back to around 9,600 BC, making it more than 11,600 years old. Older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids, and older than any known city on Earth. But here's what truly baffles scientists. At a time when humanity was thought to be no more than scattered bands of hunter-gatherers, With no agriculture, no writing, and no permanent settlements, someone or something built a massive ritual complex with towering stone pillars weighing up to 20 tons each. These pillars were arranged in intricate circular enclosures, some standing over 16 feet tall, many carved with reliefs of lions, scorpions, vultures, and other animals, symbols that seemed to carry meaning far beyond mere decoration. So, how did prehistoric humans manage such an architectural marvel with nothing more than stone tools? Who were the people behind Göbekli Tepe, and how did they organize the labor, the logistics, and the spiritual purpose to construct such an enduring monument? Even more puzzling, why would they? Mainstream archaeologists argue that this site proves religion came before civilization, that the need to worship may have been the spark that led to organized societies, not the other way around. If true, Göbekli Tepe turns everything we thought we knew upside down. But not everyone is convinced by the conventional narrative. Some researchers propose that Göbekli Tepe isn't just a temple. It might be a cosmic observatory, a calendar in stone aligned with constellations. Certain enclosures appear to match the position of the stars at specific times, particularly the constellation of Leo, which would have aligned with the temple's axis around 10,000 BC. Was this site built to track celestial events? To mark solstices? Or perhaps something deeper, a lost understanding of the cosmos passed down from a forgotten age? What adds more mystery is that Göbekli Tepe was intentionally buried under layers of earth around 8,000 BC, carefully covered, as if to preserve it for future generations. But who buried it and why? There is no evidence of war, no signs of natural disaster, just silence, as if the builders vanished, leaving only stone behind. The carvings on the pillars are equally strange. They include animals not native to the area, humanoid figures with abstract shapes, and even what some interpret as a depiction of a comet strike, linking to the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, which theorizes that a cosmic event may have triggered a global catastrophe at the end of the Ice Age. Could Göbekli Tepe be a monument to survival? A warning from an ancient time? And here's the part that's even more mind-blowing. Less than 10% of the site has been excavated. The hill still hides what could be dozens of enclosures, chambers, and perhaps even buried secrets that may reshape our understanding of where we come from. As archaeologists slowly uncover more, the questions only deepen. Despite all the modern tools and satellite imaging, no one can explain how people with no metal tools, no wheels, and no cities managed to create such precision. There are no graves, no homes, no roads, only this temple. Like a message in stone carved by a people who seem to leap forward in human development centuries before they should have. Is it possible that Göbekli Tepe is evidence of a forgotten chapter of human history? A lost civilization that once thrived and then disappeared, leaving behind just enough to make us question everything? Until more is uncovered, the mystery remains. One thing is certain. Göbekli Tepe doesn't just challenge our understanding of ancient history. It dares us to reconsider the story of civilization itself. In the vast plains of the Indus Valley, nestled along what is now Pakistan's Sindh province, lies one of the world's oldest and most sophisticated cities, Mohenjo-Daro, built more than 4,500 years ago. While modern textbooks often highlight Mesopotamia and Egypt as the earliest centers of civilization, the remains of Mohenjo-Daro tell a different, far more advanced story. It wasn't just a city. It was an engineering marvel. And what baffles scientists the most? Its incredibly advanced urban drainage system. Something even many 21st century cities still struggle to perfect. This Bronze Age metropolis, believed to have housed over 40,000 people at its peak, was laid out with meticulous planning. Streets intersected at right angles in a grid pattern. Houses were constructed using uniform baked bricks. But what continues to amaze archaeologists is how every single house, big or small, had access to clean water and an outlet for wastewater, something unimaginable for that era. Beneath the city ran an elaborate system of covered drains, built with expertly fitted bricks, complete with inspection holes for cleaning and maintenance. Wastewater from homes was channeled into street-side covered drains, which then led into larger sewer systems, and finally discharged into soak pits or river outlets. The flow of water was carefully designed, using gravity and slopes, a feat of hydraulic engineering that still mystifies experts today. Unlike the open, chaotic sewage systems found in many other early civilizations, Mohenjo-daro's drains were covered, concealed, and remarkably efficient. Many of the systems were modular, meaning damaged sections could be replaced without reconstructing the whole line. In some cases, archaeologists discovered terracotta pipes laid underground, joined together with an airtight seal. Who taught them this? How did they master water control to such an advanced degree? Even more surprising is the Great Bath, one of the most iconic features of Mohenjo-daro. It was a large, watertight public pool, built with precision-cut bricks and sealed with bitumen to prevent leakage. This wasn't just a luxury. It appears to have had ritual or social significance. Stairs led into the bath from both sides, and there were adjacent rooms, perhaps for changing or prayer. Drainage systems connected the bath to underground channels, ensuring that dirty water could be flushed and clean water replenished, a system that seems far ahead of its time. But here's where the mystery deepens. Despite this incredible advancement in engineering and urban planning, we still can't read the Indus script, the writing system used by the civilization. Without deciphering it, we know next to nothing about the people who built Mohenjo-daro. We don't know their names, their kings, their religion, or even what they call their own city. All we have are their bricks, their drains, and the silence of a language lost to time. Then comes the question, why did this city suddenly disappear? Excavations have revealed signs of sudden abandonment. Skeletons found in the streets, many unburied. Some experts suggest natural disasters like earthquakes or floods cause a collapse. But other theories are far more unsettling. One such theory revolves around discovery of bricks that appear to have been melted or fused, as though exposed to intense heat. Some researchers have pointed out similarities to areas affected by nuclear explosions. While the idea of ancient atomic energy remains highly controversial, the physical evidence has puzzled scientists for decades. Other explanations suggest changes in the course of the Indus River, drought, or environmental degradation. Yet none of these fully explain how such a stable, structured civilization with advanced infrastructure simply vanished and left so few traces behind. Adding to the enigma is that Mohenjo-daro wasn't unique. Other Indus cities like Harappa and Dhalavira also show signs of advanced urban planning and hydraulic systems. So was there a shared knowledge network across the Indus region? A forgotten ancient engineering tradition? Or were these people tapping into principles lost to time, a kind of ancient science we no longer understand? Modern engineers and urban planners often visit Mohenjo-daro to study its systems, hoping to learn sustainable design from past. The irony is striking that a civilization thousands of years ago may have solved problems we're still trying to crack today. Mohenjo-daro isn't just a lost city. It's a silent reminder that human ingenuity doesn't follow a straight line. That knowledge can bloom, flourish, and then vanish, leaving behind clues in stone, brick, and the unspoken logic of flowing water. Until we can decode their language or find the missing pieces of their story, Mohenjo-daro's mystery remains buried beneath dust and time, one of history's greatest unsolved puzzles. High in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, near the ancient city of Tiwanaku, lies one of the most puzzling archaeological sites ever discovered, Puma Punku. At first glance, it may look like a ruined stone platform, scattered blocks, broken structures, remnants of forgotten past. But a closer look reveals something far more astonishing. Massive stone blocks carved with such precision, such mathematical accuracy, that they seem to defy the limitations of the ancient world. Some of the stones at Puma Punku weigh over 100 tons. They are made from diorite, one of the hardest stones on Earth, a material that even modern diamond-tipped tools struggle to cut. Yet here they are, shaped with laser-like straightness, perfect 90-degree angles, and symmetrical drill holes, all carved at least 1,500 years ago, possibly even earlier. The level of craftsmanship challenges not only the tools of the time, but also our entire understanding of ancient construction methods. The most famous feature of Puma Punku is the H-blocks, large, interlocking stone pieces that resemble modern-day machine components. Each H-block has multiple recesses, inner right angles, and symmetrical cuts that seem to have been produced using high-speed tools. When these blocks are placed side by side, they align with uncanny precision. No gaps, no misalignment, no errors. Even with modern computer-aided machinery, replicating these blocks with the same level of accuracy would be a serious challenge. Mainstream archaeologists attribute the construction of Pumapunku to the Tiwanaku civilization, which flourished between 500 and 1000 CE. They argue that the stones were shaped using stone hammers, sand abrasion, and a lot of patience. But even proponents of this theory admit the level of precision found here is anomalous. There are no detailed records, no inscriptions explaining the techniques used, and no intermediate structures showing a gradual learning curve. It's as if the builders of Pumapunku suddenly appeared with advanced knowledge, constructed the site, and then vanished. So how were these impossibly perfect cuts made? Some researchers propose the use of lost ancient technologies, techniques that may have been passed down from an earlier, more advanced civilization. Others go even further, suggesting the involvement of sound-based tools, geopolymer technology, or even extraterrestrial assistance. While these ideas remain controversial, they exist because conventional explanations simply don't account for the precision or the scale of the work. Another strange aspect is the orientation and design of the site. Pumapunku was constructed at 12,800 feet above sea level, a place where oxygen levels are low and transporting heavy stones would be a near impossible feat without modern machinery. Yet the stones were somehow transported from quarries miles away, some from over 50 miles away. There are no signs of wheeled carts or draft animals, and no roads that could have supported such weight. Then there's the mystery of destruction. Today, Pumapunku lies in ruins, as if the entire site was blown apart by a massive force. Some stones are thrown across the plateau. Others cracked as if hit by tremendous energy. Was this caused by an earthquake, a natural disaster, or something even more dramatic, like a forgotten war or an ancient explosion? The site's damaged state only deepens the mystery. Adding to the enigma is the lack of human remains, artifacts, or daily life items found at the site. Unlike most ancient settlements, Pumapunku doesn't show signs of being lived in. It appears to have been purely ceremonial or technological in purpose. But for what? Was it a temple? A calendar? A device of some kind? We simply don't know. Modern engineers, stonemasons, and architects have traveled to Pumapunku to study its construction, and many have come away baffled. Some openly admit they would need advanced machinery to replicate such work today. That statement alone suggests we are missing a vital piece of history, a lost method, a forgotten science, or an entire civilization that possessed knowledge far beyond what we give them credit for. Despite its mystery, Pumapunku remains largely unexplored by mainstream academia. It doesn't fit neatly into the timeline, and it raises uncomfortable questions. What if our ancestors weren't as primitive as we think? What if history isn't a straight line of progress, but a cycle where knowledge is discovered, lost, and rediscovered again? In the heart of the Andes, surrounded by silence and sky, Pumapunku stands as a silent monument to something we cannot yet explain, a whisper from a civilization whose genius still echoes through every perfectly carved stone. Long before the mighty Maya or the powerful Aztec empires rose to dominate Mesoamerica, there existed mysterious people who laid the foundation for all that followed. They were the Olmecs, often called the mother civilization of ancient Mexico. They left behind colossal stone heads, complex artwork, and impressive ceremonial centers. But despite their monumental influence, there's one haunting truth. We still can't read their language. The Olmec civilization flourished between 1500 BCE and 400 BCE, along the Gulf Coast of present-day Mexico, in what is now the states of Veracruz and Tabasco. They were the first in the region to develop large cities, pyramid-like mounds, and ritual ball games. Their artistic and spiritual symbols show up again and again in later Mesoamerican cultures, proving their massive legacy. And yet, when it comes to truly understanding the Olmecs, their beliefs, their politics, even their names, we hit a wall. Why? Because their writing system has never been deciphered. Over the years, archaeologists have discovered a handful of artifacts bearing mysterious glyphs and symbols. The most famous of these is the Cascadel block, a flat stone slab found in the early 2000s. It features 62 symbols, arranged in what appears to be an ordered pattern, possibly the earliest known writing in the Americas. Some symbols resemble maize, insects, fish, and geometric designs. Experts agree it's not random, but is it writing, a form of proto-script, or something entirely different? What makes it difficult is that the Olmecs didn't leave behind thousands of tablets like the Sumerians or codices like the Maya. The surviving inscriptions are rare, often fragmented, carved on stone, pottery, or monuments. There simply isn't enough material to establish grammar, phonetics, or context. Without a Rosetta Stone, a bilingual inscription that can link their script to a known language, scholars are left in the dark. And that darkness raises big questions. How did the Olmecs influence so many later civilizations without a clearly preserved language? Did their writing evolve into the scripts used by the Maya and Zapotecs? Or was it completely lost, wiped out by conquest, assimilation, or catastrophe? Some researchers suggest that the Olmec language may have belonged to the Mixocean family, still spoken in parts of Mexico today. But this is just an educated guess, based more on geographic continuity than solid evidence. Others believe the writing could be logographic, like Chinese or ancient Egyptian, where each symbol represents a whole word or concept. But again, no one knows for sure. And that's where the real mystery lies. Without understanding their language, we can't hear the Olmecs in their own voice. We don't know what they called themselves. We don't know the names of their kings, their gods, or their myths. We see the monumental stone heads, some over 10 feet tall, but we don't know who they depict. Warriors? Rulers? Deities? Each one stares back at us across time in silence. The Olmecs were also deeply spiritual. Their art shows shamans transforming into jaguars, half-human creatures, serpents, and gods of rain and fertility. These images suggest rich mythology and complex rituals. But without text to explain them, we are left to interpret symbols without a key, like trying to read a book in a language no one speaks anymore. Some scholars even speculate that the Olmecs may have had esoteric knowledge, a sacred language reserved only for priests or rulers, hidden from the general population. If true, it would explain the scarcity of inscriptions. But it also deepens the enigma. Was their knowledge deliberately hidden or simply lost with time? There are fringe theories as well, ideas that the Olmecs may have had contact with African, Asian, or even extraterrestrial visitors. These theories point to the unique features of the stone heads or similarities in symbols across distant cultures. While mainstream scholars reject these claims, their popularity shows one thing. The mystery of the Olmecs captures imaginations across the world. Today, archaeologists continue to uncover Olmec sites buried beneath jungles and farmland. Every symbol, every carving, every artifact could hold the key to unlocking the forgotten tongue. But until that key is found, we remain outsiders looking in, watching a civilization speak, but not understanding a word they said. The Olmecs may be gone, but their silence still echoes through the stone, a language waiting to be heard, a story still untold. Maybe the ancients weren't behind us. Maybe they were ahead, and we're just now catching up. The real question isn't what they built, it's why they disappeared. If you're ready to explore what history tried to forget, subscribe to History Vault, like the video, and join the quest for lost knowledge.